Hello and welcome to the Wealth Hub podcast. I'm your host, Sharon Tomushave, and I'm very delighted that you've joined us today on this particular podcast. We have an amazing guest today. Her name is Elinah Musiime, and we're going to learn quite a lot from her. I met Elinah while she was still at her university at the point when she was trying to get internship, and I was very amazed by her courage, the hard work in her approaching me saying, "Hey Sharon, I need you to help me with something." And guess what it was? Get me internship. And when I met Elinah, I felt like I saw myself many years back when I was trying to get internship while at the university. And I was like, yes, I'm going to do everything I can to ensure that you get internship. And we have Elinah today here in the studios. And I'm very happy that I get to be with you today so that you can share your story. I know for sure sometimes when people at the university, they find it very difficult to break into the job market. Yes. Getting internship becomes very difficult. And I think it's also good to not to fight and do it on your own, but ask for help.
Yes.
Can you kindly go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners?
Well, hello everybody. My name is Musiime Elinah. I am a student at MUBS, Makerere University Business School, Nakawa, and I'm pursuing a degree in Bachelor of Science in Accounting. And I'm glad to be here and share my opinions with you.
Well, Elinah. So Elinah ended up getting internship at Sky's Hotel, thanks to Natalie Bitature.
Thank you so much, Natalie.
Thanks to Natalie Bitature for the humble welcome and how they received you at Sky's Hotel. Give us your experience. How did that go, given that you're an accounting student and getting a position in the finance department at Sky's Hotel? How did that feel?
Well, I have to say I was a bit overwhelmed because I was in an environment dealing with professionals and I am a student. So it was a bit intimidating to a point. But with the help of everyone, it was more of a teamwork kind of thing. And everyone was so helpful. Everyone was so cooperative. It helped a lot and made me gain confidence in what I was doing and maybe have a view of what I'm going to do in the future. So yeah, I'm glad I worked there and I hope I can get more opportunities like that.
You will, definitely you will. Yeah. And how long was your internship for?
It was 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah. That was from July to August. Yeah.
So now that you're back at the uni, I know you're in your final year now, almost getting done with school. What kind of advice would you give somebody that will be looking for internships soon?
Well, I would recommend that you go there with an open mind. Everyone always thinks that when I go for internship, I'm going to use all the theoretic stuff that we learned at school, but it's really different. And people usually go there with a mindset that I'm going to do this and specifically this and that. But once you go there, you find out there's so much to learn. And there's some things we're not taught in class that, like, for example, I was working in a hotel and there's something I learned about customer care.
Okay.
Yeah, that positive attitude you give your customers, what attracts people, and also the staff as well, if you treat them well. There's so much I learned aside accounting. Yeah, and I'm glad I also worked at a hotel because there's some things I wouldn't have learned if I went to specifically an auditing firm. Yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Okay, going back to expectations. I remember when I called you 3 days into the internship and you're like, I started off my internship in the stores. And you're like, I expected to be in an office with a computer. How come I am in the stores? And I was encouraging you and saying, how about you going to audit the store if you've not been in the store? So how was that experience?
Well, if you can remember how I called you and I was really scared, I asked myself, like, why am I exactly in the stores department? How would my friends who are already working in like offices or something, how would they find it that I'm working in the stores? Like, you get. So I didn't take it seriously at first, but once I started working with them, I realized how important it is. Like every single detail, if any mistake is made at the stores from the very beginning, the purchasing part, then it's going to influence what's going to happen, the report that has to be given to the managers and all that stuff. So yes, I'm really glad I started there because I wouldn't, when you're in the when you're in the accounting department, you just want people, give me this. Why are the reports for this? Why haven't I got this transaction? But once you're there on the
Yes.
field, you know how hard it is to actually
You have to
get.
experience the entire
Yes,
process from the beginning to the end, and
yes,
not you coming at the end and then expecting to know what happens. So I think that
exactly.
makes sense. I
Yeah.
always tell most of the people I mentor or people that I get in touch with, I tell them start from anywhere.
Yeah.
Actually, if it were me, if I were your boss, you would have started from the gate where they do the screening so
Yes.
that you give people a very warm welcome, or
Yeah.
maybe at the reception. The stores is good because with accounting, there are receipts, there are invoices, there are delivery notes.
Yes.
You're able to know where things are stored, how are they stored, how long do they stay. So when the
Yes.
requisitions are coming into finance, you actually
Exactly.
know what it's
Yeah.
for. So
Yeah.
that's very interesting. And I'm happy that your internship has ended well.
Yes, it did.
And you're almost getting done with university. What next?
Well, I wanted to go do a CCA because it really adds so much value. You can't just be an accountant just because you have a degree.
Correct.
To add more value to you know, to yourself in this whole career or whatever. Yes, so I want to do that. Then maybe I could do a master's. It depends how far I want to go with accounting. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Getting back to the normal things I like to talk about, investments, of course, you know that. Where do you see yourself? Have you already started investing in anything? Are there things that make you excited and you feel like this is what I want to do? Or what are those things you're already doing in the lines of investment?
Investment. Well, people find it very awkward that I want to invest in art.
Okay,
Being a
that's
person,
interesting.
right? Because the whole point of accounting, people think you're only concentrating on math, stuff like that. But I've always loved art. So I was, at a point, I once thought, what if after all this, I maybe have a gallery or like make handmade crafts?
Interesting.
It's not exactly a very big investment, but it's within my passion. And yeah, I would be so happy to do so.
Interesting. An accountant heading into arts, doing things we love. It happens in life, and it's
Yeah.
good to do things that we actually love to do. But then my question to you, Elinah, is going to be, how do you plan to get started? Because any business you're going to start, you'll need money. So how do you start now?
Well,
Before even you get done with uni, have you already planned out a way? Do you have a plan? Do you need an advisor to help you with that so that you at least have your goals
Yeah.
turned into financial goals?
Okay.
So that you know that this is how much I need for this business. And for me to get started, this is how small or how big I need to go. What resources do I need? Do I need partners? What kind of support do I need? You start your business plan way earlier, even before you get done with uni.
okay.
Where are you at now?
Well, I'm sorry to say that I'm under the stereotype that art doesn't really it doesn't really repay back how you expect it. Because I've heard of so many artists that really flop and they think maybe the problem was with them, but maybe it needed persistence or it wasn't maybe your luck. So I was thinking maybe I could first carry on with my accounting. If I have a steady source of income, then I could inject it in art so that I don't.
Income. I love that. Income. Okay.
Yes.
So income is where you start earning money,
Yeah.
right? And usually when I meet young people like you,
Yeah.
I always ask them, have you already started investing or putting money aside? And majority of you keep telling me, I need a lot of money or I'll do it later. So with the little you have, the little pocket money you're getting for school, do you ever save anything?
I'm sorry.
You
No,
don't save?
not. Okay, I save for other things. It's just,
Like what? The things you like to save for
Yeah.
are the best things that you can now say, okay, if I'm saving for this, is that money growing? That's the conversation I want us to drive to. Where you're keeping the money as you're saving for whatever reason you're saving for. Is the money growing? Is it invested? Is it adding? Is it multiplying? Is it growing? Where is the money? Where do you keep your money? Okay, don't tell us where you keep the money. Don't tell me it's at home because thieves might come and pick it from there. But are you investing the savings that you're putting aside?
well, the fact that the part where I told you I don't exactly spend on the investment part, because I think you've realized people of my age bracket, they always think investment is for the future.
Okay, is that where you are?
Personally, yes. I'm
Okay,
sorry to say.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but things in reference to what I want to do, like art pieces, I usually, people find it weird, but I'm the type to buy art pieces, put them in my room, enter a place, and I'm like, can I buy that? Like,
So you collect art.
yes.
Do you plan to sell the art?
It will depend. I'm so attached to art.
So you just buy and keep.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I think we need to have an investment conversation,
Yeah.
and more of you being able to also plan for things like liquidity.
Yes.
Because if you are earning money now and spending it all on the things that you like,
Yeah.
then that means you're not going to have enough money to take care of other needs. Because humanly, we have needs, we have wants, we have beneficiaries. You haven't yet started having children. So you look at that point whereby, in how many years do I want to start having kids? And then, yes, how much do I need to start planning for education as early as uni? So you don't have to always postpone and think that the future, I'll do it tomorrow. Start now. Even for that art gallery, start now. Paint a picture and say, this is where I want to go. How do I get there? As you're collecting, probably you may not have to invest all your money in art, but have some money to take care of things like feeding, taking care of your basic needs, being able to afford to go to the salon. So you have short-term goals, you have long-term, you have mid-term goals. So as you look up for retirement, that's too far-fetched. So you feel like, oh, that's maybe 50 years from now. I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
When you start early, you find that you just need small amounts of money that you put aside, for example. So where you would have saved quite a lot of money if you start early, maybe now, you find that 100,000 or 50,000 monthly, after 10, 20 years, it's a lot of money. Other than you saying, oh, I'll wait 5 years when I have a lot of income. You need to start the discipline now, and maybe say 5 or 10% of whatever I earn, I put it aside. And then whatever else is left, I can go buy art, I can go on holiday, I can buy a nice shoe, but put something aside. And as you're putting something aside, invest. Because we have inflation. You know inflation? Inflation affects your money on a daily basis. So if you're having money today and keeping it in a piggy bank account without investing it, it loses value over time. So if you need money in the next 3 years, the best thing to do is put it on a bank account or do a fixed deposit. Once it's on the bank account, do a fixed deposit or invest in a collective investment scheme that then helps you grow your money. In this case, I mean, we have fund managers, we have some investment products in banks as well, where you're able to fix your money. It earns you a return. And over the long term, you're able to grow your money and you're able to use it in future when it's more than what you put aside. And then maybe the other thing is do it on a routine basis. Like it has to be routine. Don't just do it for a one-off and then you give up, because if you give up, you're giving up on your dreams. So in this case, I mean, put small amounts consistently aside, invest that money so you can invest in a mutual fund or a collective investment scheme, and with as little as 10,000. So I'm not talking about a lot of money. So you can start with as little as 10,000, 100,000. You select a fund manager that you'd like to work with, put that money away routinely. It keeps growing. And when you need it in future, you just withdraw and take it out. How does that sound?
Amazing. Well, that really widens my idea of investment.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, I do feel like saving at this point, because
Investing.
for a university student, you don't that's why I was saying after I start working, that's when I want to start investing. But as a university student, we're faced with the fact that that little pocket money, it really it rarely crosses your mind that let me go do this with it. Apart from a few kids, though, I've heard from other kids how they get that pocket money, maybe go buy, like from school, secondary, people would buy shirts from outside, polo shirts, then bring them to school when they maybe have the name of this person. It it was a very small start, but it was a good place to start for them, and it's very entrepreneurial for them. Yeah, I do feel like investing at this point now.
You do?
Yes.
That's very good. And I'm very happy that you joined us on this podcast today.
It's a
I
pleasure.
don't take it lightly. It's our first season. And having you, Elinah, here means the world. And I believe that the journey you're starting now
Yes.
to complete your education and then roll out to go and join. You were mentioning to me earlier that you want to join the top 4 auditing firms in the world, the likes of PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
I wish you all the best with that. And in case you need any support from me, please feel free to reach out anytime.
I will.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks for always being helping. I don't mean to criticize women in general, but they're not really supportive of each other.
Yep.
Sometimes. So I was so happy when I was starting my internship that you were so supportive. No matter how slow I really was, you kept on persisting. You have to do this. Even after I had got the internship, you kept on insisting, you have to learn this. You have to have this kind of etiquette. You're so amazing.
Yes. Some of us felt that we had those people when we were
Yeah.
starting out in life, and we did have. If you're not guided, if you don't have a mentor, if you don't have somebody that guides you through life, it becomes a bit hard to navigate. So every time I get somebody that is actually looking for the help and they are really serious, determined, I'm also happy you didn't let me down.
I wouldn't.
There's recommending somebody, and then when they get there, they're lazy, they reach at work late. They told me you're always on time. You'd get there earlier. They even reached a point and told you, please come 30 minutes late because you were coming too early.
Yeah.
You're always the first in the office. And that's what it's about when you're starting out in life.
Yeah.
You have to really give it your all, give it the time you need, and making sure you impress. Actually, when you're starting out, it's impression. If your impression is terrible, you're not dressing right, you're not keeping time, nobody's going to give you a retention. And I love the conversation. You told me they have actually called you back.
Yeah.
So that shows you're doing something amazing and great.
I'm glad they appreciate it.
Yes.
So
So any last words for anybody at the university out there that you would like to give a bit of advice from you to them?
most of the people my age, they don't really look up to the idea of having a role model or like a mentor, because these people have more experience in whatever you're doing. So picking a word or like asking for advice is always much better. It helps you, when you go through a situation and you're like, oh my goodness, this is the end, this is what. But if these people have gone through this and they made it after, then you really need to look for one who you see is within your. It's like it's like me saying I want to be like Elon Musk. That's a little far.
Not too far.
Oh, it's
You
not
can
too far,
actually be
but
better than him.
exactly. Try and find someone within your reach and
You start there.
communicate. It's much better. And also another word is when I was joining the whole at Skies, the HR told me, okay, we're talking about academics, and sometimes it's not exactly all about academics. Also, it depends on your personal character, if you're good at what you're doing. But he told me, you don't exactly have to depend on academics, but how you perform at school shows how you would. It portrays how you would act at work. You can't say you're lazy at school and then apparently you're now hard working at work.
Yes.
You need to, okay, it portrays a little bit.
Yes.
So I learned a lot, like time management, attention to detail. We're still playing as university students, but yeah, the whole internship program helped me see the real world use of accounting. And yeah, I think I know what I need to do.
Okay.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So we thank you so much for coming to the studios today. And yeah, Elinah is a very amazing lady, and I know very good things are coming your way.
Amen.
With hard work. Nothing comes easy. And for our viewers, our listeners, we thank you so much for taking off the time, coming all this far with us on this podcast. We hope to see you next time. Kindly subscribe to our channel. That's Legacy Hills. Our program is Wealth Hub. I'm your host, Sharon Tomushabe, and see you next time.